know that I can use it right now.
What is your base?
Because we're underground and I need the moon.
Okay.
Not because my base changed.
So up to session number 57.
Getting there.
Getting there. But the... Close enough. But we are the 200th session for this group.
Hey!
So...
Time to die!
Yeah. Good day to die, right?
Not the first time.
Yeah, I think it's your
No,
turn.
sorry. Paladin.
Yeah, it's your turn to die.
Yay!
And what would you give up this time if you died?
I didn't die last time. I think I was giving up something to save him.
Mm-hmm.
It.
Hello. Yeah, I'm still here.
Oh god. The mystical beast that's going to TP.
yeah, we're getting TPK'd right now.
Yes, buddy.
You decided
You
decided to get up at the perfect time. You've been happily asleep over there for the last 2 hours.
Yeah.
Because he started GMing this. I'm the GM.
Yeah,
You started doing something. I want to tell you off.
Yeah, pretty much. Like,
What did I do wrong?
You should have just kept doing what you were doing. Cat.
Cat cam.
Cat cam.
Okay, so I'll get people to introduce themselves. We'll start off with Stefan.
Hello, I'm currently playing
Currently playing.
It.
Sofa, which pronunciation you want to use, who is a Disney princess, teenage angst, elf, rune, initiate, insert other insults here.
No, it's Disney princess. It's sunshine and rainbows.
Right, yes, with thrown in teenage angst, that's right.
Attempted teenage. Can't wait till you go through a Miley Cyrus phase, because that's basically
Oh, goodness, no, thank you.
But apart from that, it's
Oh, you've got
Pretty good so far. And now we have a cat.
Well, he wanted attention, but he didn't want to be caught. Now he's
Yeah.
being caught, he won't want attention.
Yeah, he's facing away from the camera. He's like, no.
Look at the camera.
Yeah, my
No
cat did that.
attention.
I want attention, I'm gonna go hide under the table.
Oh, yeah. It's like my dog. He does the same thing. Woo, 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 but I'm not gonna let you catch me. But I want you to play with me and pat me. But woo, 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 run away.
No, woo, I want inside. No, I want you to chase me around the yard.
I've got attention.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so next one is Josh.
Hello, I am playing Chauvel, the Almighty Paladin, the Blinding Paladin.
Oh god, Paladin.
The annoyance in the party, basically. Bodyguard to Camdu, just ensuring that at least she can actually at least walk back into the camp. Other than that,
He does. So there were books there.
then got initiated into the Religion of Gorm.
Mm-hmm. By Gorm. They never do it on Gorm, they always do it by Gorm.
Got initiated by Gorm. I'm looking forward to diving deeper into these ruins.
Mm-hmm. And then we have M.
I am playing Zol. I am becoming very wizardy in my wizardiness. I have better wisdom now, so yay.
You are wise beyond your years.
Also
So is it 4 levels of wizard now?
3 and 4
levels of
cleric.
4 and cleric.
Yeah. So I can cast up to 3rd level spells. I just don't have any.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Catches.
It's always interesting when you have the spell slots, but not the spell to go with it. You can heighten your spell into it.
But some of even some of my level 2 spells are pretty scary heightened at level 3, like 3d12 damage or something like that. It's just
it's just a scratch.
Well, it helps you scale even though you don't have the same power levels. So
yeah.
the multi-classing, different spellcasting people is not as bad as it was.
Yeah.
Whereas in previous editions, your spells slots didn't increase. You had a spell slot for each class, and they progressed in their own way.
Yay.
And then you could only spend the spell slot on that class's spells, which gave you more spells overall, but most people didn't use them all. It'd be the rare person who used all his spell slots after about 10th level.
Yeah.
I always used all my spell slots for Pathfinder the other day.
Yeah, but that's Pathfinder 2. Pathfinder 1 at that level, you'd also expect to use all your spell slots.
So yeah, and we are doing the ruins. We know how to get around. We know how to speak their language, and
some of you even learned to read it, except for the people with Bygone.
Yeah, except for our lovely paladin over here. And
Just that they
what else
don't
did
write.
we also learnt that these 3 religions are all part of the same sphere, which is why they've been having trouble keeping the Zarganites at bay.
Because normally you would have 4 different spheres keeping the entropy sphere at bay.
Yep.
Because it's also the entropy sphere stops the other 4 spheres from becoming too powerful.
And
So they sort of work together to keep everyone in balance.
And they were all the power sphere?
The sphere of energy
Or sphere of energy.
element of fire.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. My nose got broken and healed by Chevelle.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Re-break and set properly. Thank you very much.
And there were 2 Fridays in a row where that happened.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't think it was me on the second one. Though.
No, I believe it was Josh's character who got his nose broken.
Yeah.
I got my jaw.
That's right.
I got lockjaw.
Yeah, you got lockjaw.
You got lockjaw, yeah. Someone else got their nose broken, that was right.
Yeah.
And then they said, hey, let me help you heal.
Yeah. Good times. We love breaking things and saying them incorrectly before we,
It was Josh's
try
character
it.
who got the arrow stuck in his leg healed in place.
That's right.
No, I don't think it was you. It just got stuck in place.
I know that they healed you before they pulled it out, and then they pulled it out.
Yeah.
I thought I burnt it out with acid.
You were doing that too, but they healed it up while it was still in there. Hey, let me help you heal.
Yeah, who did the heal on that? Because it wasn't. Oh yeah, that's right. The actual
The actual
the actual healer.
I am helpful.
Advertising, but I am.
Yeah, no, you've probably racked up more kills than Doozer slightly now. I think I've clawed a few back in the last combat though. I still, in this game, need to kill more people with my arrows. Because I need to get those leveled up.
I've got enough experience researching bones now that I can become a bone surgeon.
So you want to start, removing bones so you can advertise what I fixed? See, look, this one's been broken 3 times. I've got this one on display on my staff. What would hurt the person? Oh, they don't need it
They
anymore.
don't need it anymore. They died.
Gangrene, something like that.
It's before or after surgery. What did you like?
I'll let you know after I work on your arm.
Yeah. Whereas I'm technically the cleric healer in this party, though I think I have maybe 2 healing spells, and that's it.
I was the healer in the party.
I have Lesser Restoration, Prayer of Healing, and Healing Word, and Cure Wounds. Okay, so I have 4 that are kind of healy, get rid of shit, but the rest is like, I'm gonna murder you now.
Well, cure wounds, that's a restoration, and
Lay on hands, yeah.
we
So-
could just throw 35 hit points into whatever.
Well,
So we kind of covered.
so with the bard in the party as well, so the three of you together can technically all heal.
Yes.
Whether or not the bard has healing or not remains to be seen.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think she went down that route either.
She went down the road of darkness.
Might be a necromancy spell.
Yeah, which you can't use anyway.
I kind of sort of fixed that, maybe. My character still hasn't had a chance to talk to you about that, but.
Well, you got involved in that.
Oh no. But I got involved in the first place, and now I'm just kind of trying to not undo my mistake because, well, I'm trying to undo my mistake, but in a way that's not going to piss my god off.
Let's just see what happens when we finally get down to the bottom level.
And he sacrifices everyone else to his new god.
Well, yeah, see what my god thinks.
Yeah, but now that you're learning more about your god, not that we know this, but
Yeah, well, you know,
You're punching that ticket out.
yeah.
see what happens.
I haven't quite clocked in yet. What do you mean you haven't clocked in?
I'm
Well,
coming in to work sick, okay? Sorry, I'm calling sick for work.
I got held up with the complaints committee. Okay, so
Got held up with the paladin. Why the paladin? He's the complaints committee.
so you've been doing the Lost City. You investigated the top level where you came across the three cults of Gorm, Madura, and Usamigaris.
Yeah.
It's nice that I can actually remember those ones without looking it up. And then you spend a couple of months learning the language and how to potentially safely navigate this place.
We know how to navigate the top 3 levels, is
Yep.
that right? And we've just been dropped down into the 4.
Yep. Drop down into the fourth to see whether you
And then we've
sink.
literally dropped, I think, another floor.
Well, you're still on the fourth tier.
Oh no, we're still on the 4th too?
Yep. So exploring the fourth tier, you came across some skeletons which you
That's right.
messed up.
That's right.
You do. What else did you find?
Oh wait, did I just char them?
Yeah.
Yeah,
You did?
you like deep fried, like, all I heard was, because I was, I think, the last person coming up that corridor, and all I see is these flames in this room,
And the outlines of skeletons.
and the outline, like Iron Man 2, like, burnt silhouettes on the wall.
Yeah, that was it.
And you picked up some gear from the mummy.
Mm-hmm.
Though it wasn't an animated mummy. It wasn't an undead mummy. It was just a mummy.
What was the, oh no, he got, like, full plate or something, didn't he?
Yeah, and I got the mythical chain.
That's right, I got full plate, yes.
Yeah. And that was from, like, the dead mummy.
It's a nago.
Yeah.
It was plate armor, not full plate.
Oh,
Oh,
sorry,
plate armor.
Yeah, sorry, not full plate, yeah.
Sorry.
That's right, looted plate armor. Session 56 area 31.
It was session 56. And so then you went on and you're exploring a burial room where you just happen to open a door and see a big boulder go flying past.
Oh,
That's
And this is where we ended the session
that's
with,
right.
Yeah, because if we'd come
We had
round
to
the
raise it.
other way, we would have all been smushed.
Very much so. Because they do have a picture of the boulder going down the corridor.
The tree did show us that.
It was definitely, if you missed it, that was the picture that they had of what you would have seen if you tried going through the other door.
I like that
Paladin could
picture.
have taken it.
It would have been you jiggle the handle or try to see if it's trapped, and then the false wall just collapses and the boulder just starts coming towards you. Because it starts quietly at first and then starts building up momentum.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but we decided to go burn some skeletons first. What a surprise!
Well, you
Fun
just
with
got
that.
lucky.
Yeah.
Well, you had a 1 in 5 chance of going the wrong way,
Fair enough.
and you just got lucky. So, Giving you a description of the room you're in. So the room has a sarcophagus resting on a dais in the center of the room. The dais is 10 feet on a side. From each corner of the dais rises a slender 6-foot tall column. The top of the column meets the corner of an arched dome above the sarcophagus. On the dais at each end of the sarcophagus is a brass jar from which flames dance, throwing flickering illumination throughout the chamber. Finally, the walls of the room are painted with scenes from the life of a noble lady.
Is that just the rain doing something? That like clicking sound?
Might be the fridge.
Could be the fridge.
Sorry, it caught my attention.
All good. And yeah, so you didn't really get a chance to look around the room too much before you checked the door and had Balder go grinding past.
Yay!
Just need to check if that's Ariadne needing something. But what would you like to do?
Well, the last coffin or thing I looked over broke my nose, so I'm probably going to be a bit hesitant to do that to this big, huge thing in the middle of the room. Is there any, there's other doors?
There was only the 2 doors, the one you came through and the one that you just saw the Balder go flying past.
Ah, right. Wasn't that corridor something else we were going to look at?
There were a couple of them, weren't there?
Yeah, there were a couple. I'm trying to remember.
I could almost lay out the map on here if Stefan can get me the dungeon tile box there. And that will give you more of an idea of where you've been. And also showcase how nice the tiles can look.
Yay! We have the perfect platform now.
Well, it's made it easy to show people what actually happens.
Which is the one more.
The whole tray.
Whole box? Okay.
Does Ariadne need anything?
She seems to be okay, just not doing great at the moment.
What's
I'm not sure you want
Give me a sec. Let's see how much of that I can actually do fairly easily. What's that? The fountain.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay. Sorry.
Anyone want
Does that? No one.
Oh, water. Yeah, as I said, like it caught my attention because it just like something was suddenly making the noise, and I was like, that sounds odd. That doesn't sound like something I've heard in this house before. Cute little fountain though. Have you actually been drinking out of it though, Therion?
Yeah, it's,
It took him a while to start doing it though.
Something new and strange, of course.
yeah.
Uh,
It's how you can tell when you need to refill it because it starts ticking.
And then people worrying about going boom.
So I'm glad I said something.
Yeah.
He's like, what?
Yeah.
What are you staring at? Yeah. He's like, my water bottle ticking. Sounded like bomb. I'm not gonna drink out of it now. Ever again. Bomb, yeah. the flamey things in the room, are they? Is it magical? I could do detect magic because that's gonna be hilarious.
So you spend 10 minutes trying to figure out if it's magical.
Yeah. Why not? We've got nothing better to do. Well, I've got nothing better to do anyway. We spend 10 minutes while we make the map.
Roll photography.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we are trying to document this place, so it kind of makes sense.
It does. The question is, do we do it well or badly?
I don't know. Badly, probably. No, it's knowing that none of us have, what would cartography be? Like, performance?
No, I think it's where did my sheet go?
Photography would be basically equivalent of tools, I think.
Yeah, it's either tools or history.
I'm not bad at history.
To be fairly close. And getting no problems with that because otherwise you won't actually fit much of it up here.
We'll get the general idea anyway.
Okay.
I'm also getting kicked in the gut, which is fun.
Yeah.
I love getting kicked in the gut. It's fantastic. Oh, pardon me. Yeah, I might have to come over once I'm not working and sort those out here.
Yep.
But that's fine.
Well, that's not too far away. Unfortunately.
Yeah, so is a lot of other things.
Well, it's nice to have people over, but it's also sad when it's because of bad things. So this is your actual starting room over here.
Mm-hmm.
Good and close, we've used nearly every flat piece of thing on here.
Nice.
And it only shows a small section of the map. Just to give you some idea of how big the map really is.
Yeah. You'd almost need the whole level up across the whole table.
I could do that, or I could do other things to make it look better, but the idea was to try not to go too big.
Yeah.
Otherwise you'd still have no idea what it is you're facing. Yeah.
Because we love walking into things we don't know about, right?
Yeah. Always makes things so much easier.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, it's better there. Some of these doors are bigger than others, some of them are smaller. So you've got to make sure you put them on the right spot. Okay, so that roughly represents where it is.
Mm-hmm.
And let me see. What have I got that makes good-ish? is roughly where you guys are.
So that's the corridor that just had the boulder go by?
Boulder came from here and rolled down
rolled
that
over.
way.
Right, cool.
Which would technically have a wall over there now. As it swung open. Also making it harder for you to get places.
Great.
So, as a comparison, that is the map there, and it's that small little area there that I've just mapped out.
Oh wow.
So when I said big map,
Yeah, big map. Because we're also, I guess, we're going further down the tiers of the. We're in a pyramid, aren't we?
you are in a pyramid, yes. You've been told it's a pyramid.
Yep.
And it gets bigger as you go down.
Yep.
Okay, so I'm just going to go bathroom and check on Ariadna, and then we'll, you can figure out what you're going to do next, because, hey, big boulder just went past.
Yay, big boulder!
I say we fight the big boulder.
No, it'll be interesting to see if the big boulder.
Says I.
No, like if it stops at the end or if it has like a drop off or.
Hits the wall, grows arms, walks off.
Huh?
Hits the wall, grows arms, walks
So
off.
yeah. Yeah. Oh, what are they, those big boulder things called in Legend of Zelda?
Yeah, they're like the troll rock things.
Yeah.
I think it starts with B or something.
Oh, I'm gonna have to look it up.
Yeah.
What, you don't know Zelda?
No, I know, right? It's a little rock monster. There we go. Clearly not the only one to look it up. Stone Talus.
Okay.
And then you've got like Flame Talus and Ice
Yeah.
Talus and Stone Pedlet. Those little things that like chase you and like I'm gonna murder you.
No, I quite like them.
Oh, did you see the new version of the Talus from the Nintendo Direct? It looks cool.
Oh, they're making a success too.
Yeah, that was the promo video they did at the Nintendo Direct for Breath of the Wild 2.
Yeah, I didn't get to play the whole game because it was a friend of mine.
Let's try it, but
It's a really good game from what little bit
I've mostly finished it. I've got a few of the Master Sword quests to go. And I think I've put like 350 hours into Breath of the Wild. I've put like 700 into Skyrim, so.
I lent it to my sister because I just play the shit out of it. It's like, look, just take it.
Just take it, yeah.
I've had that many hours into it. I've done everything. Like,
800 plus hours in Pokemon Sword.
What am I at? Like 600 for that? I'm a couple hours behind you.
A couple hundred hours behind me, yes. Because I have your knife.
Still drawing rough. Okay, so have you decided how you're going to solve that? And I'll quickly send her a picture of what she's. The fact we actually set up a basic map for you.
It's a shame the chair's done sounds more detriment than
So we've come
intended.
down. We've come down this way, have we?
Yeah, we came
So
down.
you came out here, went up there, skeletons, came out, went around that way, and then into there.
Yep.
And that's basically where you've done things.
I was thinking of following the boulder to see where it ended up.
let's go for it.
She didn't really. So you spent 10 minutes casting the spell.
Oh yes, I also spent 10 minutes trying to find out if this place was magical because reasons.
So while she's doing that, was other people wanting to go off and do things, because 10 minutes is quite a long time to actually do that.
Yeah.
They're all just like, we're gonna go chase the boulder. Bye.
I'm wondering if there's other muscles. Probably not.
Well, 10 minutes is 100 actions.
Yes.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah, that hopefully only for an initiative, which I really hope we're not. Because if we're still in initiative, I'm in trouble.
No, they're just gonna open up the door and bolt away past.
Okay, yep, that has no problems opening up. Get out there. We actually have opening doors, which is funny. And then you see you have a light source.
I've got dark vision.
Okay. How far is your dark vision?
60 feet.
You can see 60 feet down the corridor.
And it keeps on going?
Yeah. And the boulder is disappeared from view down the corridor. And you can still hear the grinding noise and then a big thump.
Huh. So you can see 60 feet that way.
I mean, you technically have a light source because I got the drift flow, but I'm sitting down casting magic.
Yes, you are. Thank you very much.
No problem. I love being told.
And then you can hear in Celestial. He's talking.
Did you actually say that?
Seriously.
It's a little bit like that.
Everyone else is just hearing bells.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they've just learned to tune it out. How we've learned to not look at the paladin.
But the thing is, I can actually understand your drift.
Wait, when did you use Celestial?
I've had Celestial for quite a while.
It's just that he didn't read his stat book.
Oh.
Mm.
Oh, okay.
Mm.
Who else knows Celestial? I know someone else knows Celestial. Just fine.
The skull.
The skull knows Celestial. I just want to know the skull knows Celestial. It also knows how to say my name real good.
With many inclinations, very much like I am Groot.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
But I don't need to because I have comprehend, so.
I thought I taught. Oh no, maybe I taught the dragon Celestial. That's probably what it was.
Maybe.
You taught Dragon Gnomish, I believe. I'm not sure if you taught them Celestial as well.
I think I taught her Celestial as well.
Hmm.
I think I taught her Celestial first, and then we learned Gnomish together when we were at the Gnomish city.
Mm-hmm.
And she taught me Draconic after I taught her Celestial.
Okay, so yes, you can see a corridor either way. There is a door heading north and a long corridor heading south.
I cast Produce Form.
Okay.
So I have a little thing.
So you have about a 10-foot light source around you,
10-foot light source, yeah.
and dark vision no longer works. So
So at least I know 60. At least I know 60 feet down that way, which I'm going to go following the boulder.
Okay.
Have fun casting, buddy.
Humana.
So as the party splits, which way does our fearless
It also gives
Disney
me an egg
princess wish to
timer.
go?
When the flame goes out, Zal's done.
I'm not straight. I'm just gonna keep my arms down.
Duration 10
Always
minutes.
move the chair just a little bit to the side
Is it
so it's
cantrip?
not just behind you.
Is it cantrip?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Conjuration cantrip.
There you go. Don't you have dancing lights? Wouldn't that be better?
No, not this kind of good.
Oh.
I guess I'll follow suit with everyone else, and I don't want to be left behind. So.
Well, one of them
Well,
is
one's
casting the
staying,
spell and
one's
one of them's
going.
left.
One of them sitting on the ground going humana.
Oh, you're humming for 10 minutes.
Yes,
are
I'm
you?
humming for 2
Oh.
minutes.
So our fearless paladin with the flame is
What are
going
you
down
humming
the
at?
To see if anything's magical around the
doing a ritual, 10-minute ritual.
I'm seeing whether the
Really?
the room and the coffin are magical and whether I should be wary or not.
They probably were, and I've probably taken the magical thing with it.
Well, yes, it just means that I won't ping your bloody new armor.
I need to check something before I...
That would have been good because you could have told me about it.
Well, you're running away, so
I'm not running away. I'm just walking down the corridor.
yeah, you're running away.
It might actually be back by the time you get the spell off.
Oh, really?
So that the whole detecting magic in Pathfinder is worse. So detect magic. During you sense the presence of magic within 30 feet of you. This is the magic way you can use an action to see a faint aura around any visible creature or object in the area that bears magic and learn its all the magic if any. So 5th edition is a lot better.
Yeah.
So when you cast it, as long as you're concentrating,
Yep.
you get there's the presence of magic.
Yeah.
And then you can concentrate and start seeing little auras everywhere.
Yay!
As long as you spend an action to do so. After you'll actually cast the spell.
Cast the spell, yeah.
I was like, yes, there's magic here. Where's the magic?
But where?
Give me a moment.
1 second, loading. Yeah, whereas in Pathfinder it's like, this 5 foot square is magical.
So the amusing thing with it is that if an invisible person is walking around using the spell invisibility, it won't detect it.
Oh.
Because you can only see the faint aura around any visible creature or object in the area. It has to be visible first. So if they're in a chest, it'll go ping.
Yeah.
But you can't actually see their magical item. So
Fair enough.
if they're in 30 feet of you, including up and down,
Yeah.
because it's not blocked by distance anymore.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So
Which
how big is this room?
This room itself is 30 by 30.
Okay, so I've probably put myself somewhat square in the middle, so... Okay.
Which means that you can get 15 feet either side of the room.
Yeah.
Outside of the room.
Yeah.
So you'd be detecting out here.
Yeah.
As well as the floor above, as well as the floor below.
But I can tell what direction it's pinging from, right? No? Oh, okay.
So that was what I was getting at. For the duration, you sense the presence of magic within 30 feet of you. If you sense magic in this way, you can use your action to see a faint aura around anything visible.
Right.
And then learn its school of magic. Also, it can penetrate most barriers, but is blocked by 1 foot of stone, 1 inch of common metal. So yes, you can't go up and you can't go down. And it won't go into the corridor, because only through the door, though.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. So I know pretty much what I'll be sensing should be in this room.
In this room, yes.
Yeah, cool.
Unless it's got more than 1 foot of stone, 1 inch of metal, a thin sheet of lead, or 3 feet of wood or dirt. They're the other things that block it.
Yeah.
Or if the paladin's walking away with it.
I would presume that the coffin doesn't look like it's 10 foot of stone.
Well, it's 1 foot. 1 foot of stone. It wouldn't look like... So 1 foot of stone would be
That's 30
about
centimeters.
that, yeah.
So...
And most coffins would probably be about that, about half of that. So you'd sense what's magical inside it.
Cool.
It's trying to be more precise without being too pedantic is the hard part.
Yeah. I'm also making sure that I'm not wasting my 10 minutes. Potentially. You didn't get more sauce?
No, it's one pasta. Okay.
Okay, so...
It's all pasta, cream, and roast.
Josh, as you start heading down south, after about 3 rounds walking,
So 90 feet.
you come into a passageway branching off to the right, so this way,
Oh, yes, yeah, 90 feet, yeah.
and the boulder scrapes on the ground continue on. So it's basically the boulder went this way, and then there's a path off to the side. So the boulder went past the thing. You wish to continue?
Press yes.
No, I'll go back to... So wait, that was 3 rounds?
That was 3 rounds, yeah. And you weren't checking for traps along the way.
No.
You did the paladin check for traps. It didn't go off. No trap. Didn't go off. No trap.
I haven't been squished by another boulder yet. There are no more boulders, right?
Well, besides, a boulder went down here, so they shouldn't have any pressure plate traps or tripwires. Unless it was designed to disable them as the boulder came through and then reactivate when it had finished.
Who knows how sophisticated or not this place is. Considering some
I'll
of the
go-
stuff we've seen.
I'll go back to Hamanara and Angsty.
So what's Disney Princess doing the entire time someone's casting a ritual?
I was tempting Hanamaring myself, actually.
Countersong?
No.
You want to detect magic as well?
No.
You just want to hum the ha while she's doing it?
I was contemplating using Wotan's Reed,
Yep.
which is recite a poem in Northern tongue to receive insight or advice from the gods,
Mm-hmm.
and that uses a ritual. And
How long does it take to cast?
well, there's technically 2 versions of it. It's because it says duration instant, but it also says ritual as well.
So, if it has a casting time, if the casting time says 1 action, then it becomes 10 minutes. If the casting time says 1 hour, then the ritual will also take an hour.
Oh, sorry, it's 1 action.
So then it will take 10 minutes to cast.
Yeah.
So you come into the room and there's mana, 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 coming from 2 sides of the room. Of course, one's more in tune than the other. And in the background there is so in every break and pause.
Sit down. Wait for the harmonies to finish.
Okay, it goes for quite a while.
Actually, no, I'll go inside.
And they're still doing it. They're building up their tunes. And they seem to be.
How else getting more intense.
And they seem to be singing completely different songs.
Shopping mall.
you got jingle bells coming from this shop, and you've got
Rudolph the Red-Nosed
Christmas.
All Christmas and Rudolph over there. Yeah.
Right over there.
And you're in the middle of it all.
I'm like, ah!
And then you got the shitty like
Announcements.
announcement music. Yeah.
Elevated music.
To all the kids in the shopping center, Santa is now available for 30 minutes. Please come to the...
Okay, so your detect magic goes off first.
Yep.
You detect the presence of magic.
Awesome.
And then the next round, your Stefan's spell goes off. And what were you asking insight for?
I was asking,
The parable.
no. So basically, because I was casting it at 4th level, it's effectively a divination.
Mm-hmm.
And so
And that comes from the M behind Josh, up on top of the Isle of Dread book. Could you?
Oh, the McDonald's.
Yeah. That should be in that one. Thank you. Do you know which page number it was, Stefan?
yeah, it's 234.
2, 3, 4. Well, probably not from this book then.
No, that's not the right book.
Which
Do you
one was
just
it?
wanna use this one?
Is that the spell?
Yeah, it's on the top right.
Okay.
Left page.
Oh.
Divination.
It uses divination.
Yeah, so when I cast it as 4 level,
Ow.
it gives advice equal to a divination spell.
Okay. I'm just going to read what else they had for the actual words. So, what question are you asking it then?
I wanted to ask.
Am I really a Disney princess?
Now, before I ask, because I need to make sure that I get my previous character knowledge in my head.
Yeah.
Who am I?
We, in terms of this cultist group at the bottom, we learnt they were slaughtering the other groups. Is that right?
They're trying to take over to do something, but I'd have to double check the notes.
What was the spell called, the original spell called again?
Oh, Wotan's Reed.
Wotan's Reed, yeah. weaponry. Okay, so you're actually asking Odin himself for this?
Am I?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was
Wotan.
my deity.
What Wotan is Odin.
Oh, okay.
It's okay. Other people can use the spell,
Right. Okay.
and the rune master pretty much is Odin,
Oh, okay.
which is why certain spells are relating to the Norse mythology.
Yeah.
I've written down who the Zarganites are, but not what they're trying to achieve, or that we don't quite know what they're trying to achieve.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so what is your question of Odin? Of Odin, of Wotan.
Of Wotan. Probably. Is the goal of the Zargonites to slaughter the other? Mention the other 4 tribes here because I forgot the names.
3.
3 tribes.
The Ethengarans, the Gorms, and the Mataroos.
Yes.
Ruins. The
Gormians.
Gormians.
Gormites.
Okay, so while you're waiting on the answer, you do your action to make things light up.
Yes.
Okay, one of the things you notice is that the Disney princess is now lit with magic.
I would have thought I already knew she was magical.
Yes, but normally things she's carrying is magical. Now she's fully lit up with magic.
She is magical.
Oh,
As in
'cause
magical
it
effect
also
on her.
casts magic.
Yeah.
You're very
Right.
important to us.
Yep.
Sorry for the delay.
And
You'll be answered by the next available.
Donations are always welcome.
Inserts donation through cell phone.
Yeah, yeah. Please place gold on the open spot.
and the brass jars either side of the sarcophagus are glowing.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
So they are magical.
No, whatever you do, don't drink it.
Well, they are flaming at the moment.
Oh, well.
So if you want to drink flame, you'd want to call yourself the buffest paladin around.
There's only one person.
Well,
who
I'm
can
Done!
I'm surprised the paladin hasn't tried to stick his face in the flame yet.
Her face.
Oh, her face, sorry.
How dare you! I am the most independent woman here. Other than Cambria.
Well, the Disney princess is not independent.
drink. They should don't work out if
She
you're even a woman.
depends on
at
her
this
band.
Which are down here.
point. I think they
Bantless.
know what I am at the moment.
Okay, so
Why didn't you ask her in that? What am I?
What am I?
Who am I?
Who just answered 42?
okay, so Odin gives you a simple, a quick, simple response.
Mm-hmm.
No.
No.
Yeah, okay. Well, that's good to know.
And that's $50 worth of a phone bill used up.
Yeah.
And you get that thing charges pending in the back of your head.
$50. Reach into your coin pouch, you find that you're missing $50.
Yes! Alright, I'll take that. My full spell, so I can't use it.
Okay, and so as you look around, you see the various other things on the princess that you've recognized before as magical. You see the various things on the paladin you've recognized before as magical. The armor comes across with some form of magic on it,
Okay.
which you hadn't picked up last time you were looking.
And what? Not divination.
School of Magic.
School of Magic is that?
Most magical items don't have a school of magic. It's normally spells that have a school of magic.
Okay, so the armor's just
Magic.
magical.
It's a throwback to older versions of the game where items had schools. Now they don't actually radiate schools of magic. But Pathfinder ones still do. Not to be confusing at all. So yes, Stefan got an accurate answer.
For once.
No.
This is probably the first dealing with a god where I got a decent answer.
Well, you asked Odin, the god of knowledge.
Yeah.
I just like to think you're basically talking to an internet provider. Get the simple answer you want after being on hold for like 3 hours, and then all of a sudden, yep, cool, done.
Yeah. It's like, it's funny you get on a call. Hello, goodbye.
That used to be my phone conversations with my grandfather. And they were considered long conversations. If you actually got a hello and a goodbye from him, that was considered long. If you got a hello and then a hang up, that was unusual. Okay, so yes, you have discovered that there are multiple magical things in here.
And is there anything...
And then as you're watching there, magic fades from the Disney princess. Because it's an instantaneous spell.
Yep.
You just happen to get your action up to look as the spell kicked in.
Because it's... Oh, I thought that was not...
And before you could concentrate on what school it was gone.
Yeah. And is there anything coming from the sarcophagus?
Nothing coming from the sarcophagus.
Interesting. I would have thought that.
See, some of my armor
Magical,
was
but
magical.
I haven't told you yet.
No,
I
but
didn't just see
I'm
it.
just comparing with mine.
Yes. Okay. And then can just end the concentration to drop the spell, right?
But the thing is, you can also leave it running for 10 minutes.
Oh, could do that, yeah. Just
And then
walk
you come
around
across
looking at all
some-
these pretty lights.
Well, you would know that something was magical when it came within range,
Yeah.
and then you can spend an action to concentrate and going, okay,
Yeah.
can I see what it is?
What it is. Okay, I'll just leave it off.
And that's the benefit of the detect magic, is you just walk around with it, and unless you cast another concentration spell, it just stays in the background.
Yeah, okay.
It doesn't, unlike Pathfinder, it doesn't take actions to keep it running.
Yeah, cool.
It's nice to get those distinctions out sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess because it is confusing because I have both in
You do?
both games.
We're in both games, yeah. Well, I run both games, so I've got to get it right in my
I
head.
think as well, yeah. Because we both play both Fridays.
So it's much better than that. Ping! Yes, that's magic.
Great.
Not that magic. All someone has to do is cast a light spell and put it in their pocket. Just throw out your magic in Pathfinder 2.
Yeah.
Because it's not magic you're expecting, suddenly it's not working.
Yep. I guess, I'm like, oh, that armor you got's magical. Don't know what it is, but it's magical.
It's pretty.
It's shining. Do they have colours?
Doesn't show any real colours on there,
Doesn't
just
show-
lights up in your favourite colour.
Oh, okay.
No.
Which no one else sees.
Yeah, but like that's the thing. It's probably red, and it's probably not surprising to see red on the paladin. So.
How long does it take to attune to things again?
Takes an hour.
Oh yeah, I've done that.
It's a short rest.
Maybe when we finish dungeon diving.
If we ever finish.
No, we won't.
Oh, you guys want to go low? We don't have to go low. We could go back up.
We should go lower.
I'm gonna say while you guys were humming and hurrying, I found a pathway to the right, about 90 feet down that way.
And you also saw a doorway to the north, just up from where the hallway started.
Oh, there's also a doorway there.
Well, why don't we check the close doorway and then head down?
Okay. So we're going into that door. Yeah.
Okay, you just go in and walk in.
Sure, why not? What's in front of the paladin?
What a surprise! The paladin opened the door without checking it.
Called a face check.
Face check.
It's called God Will Save Me.
No,
And if God doesn't save
it's
me,
called
I'm
flame
pretty sure.
roll.
If God doesn't save me, I'm pretty sure my hit points will take it and I'll just touch myself.
That sounds really wrong.
Well, it's better than I touch someone else.
Which is also what he does.
I stroked your nose.
See, he reset the broken nose. So, stepping into the room with your little flamey head.
Well, it's got the
It
drip
went
globe
out
right
at the
on.
time.
Can't you just keep casting it? It's a cantrip, isn't it?
Yeah, but he's come back into the drip globe range,
Yeah, I'm
so.
back
Okay, so the room is thrown in a lot of shadows with your outline all over the place. With the light behind you.
Holy.
I can't see.
And you get paladin in your head every now and then when you look at the shadows. No, just kidding.
I was about to say.
Oh god, there's a mirror here!
Wait, because I palmed off the armor too. Every time we look at so do we get that is
No, because I'm pretty sure it's
because
your skin.
because it's me.
Yeah.
Because it's me, yeah.
Yeah, if we see your skin in any form.
If you just see me, you full stop.
No, if you cover up your skin, it doesn't actually trigger.
Yeah, because we've covered you up so we could go places without screaming paladin at everyone.
And then you like remove the clip. Paladin!
Paladin! Oh god, I'm gonna be done.
So the room appears empty except for an oddly shaped mound in the southwestern corner of the room. Rustling and faint squeaking noises seem to come out of the mound.
Oh great, it's rats.
Sounds like fun.
Does Sofa have PTSD yet?
I think I got rid of that fear. Let me check. But I gained 2 other ones.
Oh, you can do all
So it's roughly that size room.
Yep.
Flaming gods is
Yes,
one.
I removed the fear of rats, but I now have a fear of sailing and flying.
That's right. The 2 times when we crashed.
You're like, rats aren't so bad anymore.
But you hear squeaking coming from the room.
Is it like a slight twitch?
Switch, memory twitch. Oh, I remember this.
I'm over this! I'm over this!
No,
I'm over this!
Mdrag was Mdrag?
Yeah, it was them, right?
Yeah, Mdrag was a friend of mine.
Yeah.
Well, they had been such a terror. Well, I had to get over it because every time she sung now, rats might show up.
Yeah.
What's over in the mountain?
Well, no, I think the axe beak probably targets rats first, and then flying things, and then
Oh,
squirrels.
see in the mountain. I wonder
Well, if it ever sees a Disney princess upset with the rats, it will probably get rid of everything else first and then get the rats.
True. Because my axe beak is a dick.
what's in the rat infested mountain?
Rats.
You wander over?
Yeah.
Okay. So,
Rats.
The rat.
Rats, bats, pigeons.
Yep, pretty much.
okay, so as you mess with the rat's nest, they burst out. You see 10 3-foot long grey rats bursting out of that.
3
which,
foot long.
yeah, 3 foot long.
They're like small dogs.
You know, how big are these rats? If I've got them listed in the back here.
Fun.
Sometimes they're nice and they give you the stat blocks of everything in the back. You just have to find the right page. It's almost like click here to find more.
There's a lot of stuff on.
Okay, so apparently I don't actually have it in this book. I have to look at one of the other books.
Oh no!
Shakara. Oh, that's so.
It's like a creature adventure game. You're trying to find it.
Well, it's always handy when they have every monster that they're referencing in the back, except for the monsters you're looking for.
That's always the way, right?
Yeah. So it's like highlighted, giant rat. And nearly everything else is listed elsewhere, so it should be in the base monster book. Okay. Again, not listed easily, so it should be here somewhere. Okay. Yep, here it is. Using sidebars and everything. So, the creature is considered small.
Small.
Yeah. So technically you would be standing in here. taking out probably up that square there. So what do I have? We'll get some shiny beads out for rats.
Shiny beads, yay!
We don't drop things everywhere.
Oops.
It's always good when hands work properly, not good when hands don't work properly.
Yes. Isn't that right, James Paul fan?
They're cards. So that's where those cards are.
No.
I'll find the cards.
No. Oh, the condition cards?
Yeah.
Whoops.
Okay, my hand's going. Yep, don't really know what's happening.
Okay.
Okay, so this will be easy to see, black on black.
Ah! You got me!
Paladin down! Paladin down!
4 of them. What's this?
They're having a rat orgy.
Oh,
Environment.
It's a rat swarm. It's all the rats.
See? What did I say? Rat orgy.
6, 7,
Who would
8.
have been a mistake?
Pretty sure the other 2 would be okay. 10 rats!
He's trying to get them in the room.
Yep, with the door open,
Yeah.
and these guys
At the door.
at the door. Going, oh look what the paladin's just gone in and done.
What a surprise!
Okay, so, and because you've gone in and disturbed them, I will give you an initiative roll.
Yay!
Ooh. Ooh. Ooh, that was awful. Well, lucky I'm not in the door. Initiative in this game is plus dex, isn't it?
It's basically supposed to be just dex, yeah. Dex bonus unless you have something else.
Yep.
Which means apparently the rats are very fast today.
Maybe I should re-roll my roll.
So, what was Chauffeurs?
Oh, we're all doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was just
No!
No,
Well, if you like, you can just stand and watch.
I mean,
I wouldn't be surprised though.
Satan if you really want to
be my guest.
Snow White the whole thing.
Sit back and just watch me go to town.
You don't know. That's a 16.
So a 16 for Chauffeur. A Shogal got a,
17.
and a Zal got a.
A re-roll, please.
Reroll, please. Come on, Slowpokes, what are you doing?
No,
I
alright.
can't find the reroll on this
Oh, there
dice.
we go, that's better. 18.
Okay. Well, amusingly, no matter how well you rolled, unless you got a natural 20, the rats were always going to go first.
I know, but I didn't want an 8 either.
Yeah, you did.
No, I really did not.
Yeah, you did.
All that meant was you got to go before the paladin who's in the middle of all the rats.
Yeah.
Okay, so apparently the rats get to go first.
Of
Yo.
course they do.
Of course I do.
Rolling a natural 20 or something.
So it would be like,
Yay!
so only they didn't get to attack you.
Great.
I could technically have them running in and out, but you don't get any flanking bonuses because they are not working together.
Yeah, that's not a surprise.
Whereas if they had been like,
They are very independent rats.
they are. The rats are their own people. Okay, so the first person first rat tries to hit you with a natural 1.
Wow, we went from 20 to 1 on that dice.
And you're covered in blood as he spits his tongue on you.
Yum.
You bit his tongue off.
Rude.
That's impressive.
Yum.
Apparently you're just that good that he blinded by something in his head and bit his tongue off.
Yeah.
Okay, rat number 2. Hits armor class of 18.
That's a magic number.
That's the magic number. Okay, so this is going to be fun for your character.
Wait, I have a... Oh no.
So you take 6 piercing damage, and then you have to make a Constitution saving throw.
Con saving throw. Give me 1 second. Is it a disease?
It is a disease.
Me too. Divine health.
Which is good for you because
Yeah.
it's a rather nasty disease too.
Mm,
Okay.
yummy.
So then rat number 3 hits armor class 12. Rat number 4 hits armor class
So
Plenty.
How much damage do I take from the first bite?
6.
6. Now.
And then you take another 5 piercing damage.
Now.
Then we're up to rat number 6, I believe. Natural 20.
Ow.
Now.
So he does 6 damage.
Oh, okay.
So I doubled what the result was instead of rolling twice.
Yep. Sure.
And he rolled a 1. Okay, rat number 7 hits armor class 12, and rat number 8 hits armor class 19.
Okay.
Doing 4 points of piercing damage. Death by 1,000 bites!
No, that tickled a bit.
Had a like arcing.
So just so you know how bad the disease is, if you actually got it, you could only be healed by magical healing. You cannot spend hit dice, you cannot rest, you cannot long rest to get your points back. And every 24 hours your hit point maximum is decreased by 1d6 points until the disease is cured or you're killed.
Also,
So,
do not pass go. Do not collect too.
Yeah.
but that is the official thing on the disease rats, which you guys should have had some inkling about, considering you've got Miss Paranoid of Rats over there, who probably looked up all the horrible things about rats and told you about them
Oh, probably.
Oh, so
in graphic detail of how bad the death is. Would that be about right?
Yeah.
You were the knowledge person.
Yep. Yeah. I tell them all the horrible diseases you can get from those nasty things.
So Zal,
Diseases? There's such things?
Diseases.
Okay, not for you, Mister.
there are some diseases that get through the paladin's immunity to disease.
Oh, well, I think we need to find these for us. So.
So Zal is up.
Oh, that would be amazing.
Uh,
It's like, I feel sick. What is this? It's called a disease.
I've never got one of these before.
I'm just trying
Yes,
to
you
see.
have 2 arms.
Yeah.
Everyone usually does, but maybe not.
I am going to cast Firebolt on probably the closest rat.
Did I hear fireball?
Firebolt. Fireball would be hilarious though.
Well, since we're not...
I mean, you could.
You're not immune to fire though, but you're resistant.
I get resistance.
You get resistance.
I get a fair whack of resistance too. Resist 5.
Resistance equal to your proficiency.
3.
Naturally. If you get any other resistances, it's the best
So we
resistance.
presume Fire Paladin has some resistance added onto that though.
That is the fire paladin aspect.
Oh, that is a Fire Paladin?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's lots of fighting has resistance.
Oh, right.
Just don't throw cold at him.
Meh. Yeah, so it's an action, it has a range of 120 feet, though I don't think that matters too much.
No, it's very close.
There's less than 100 feet in there, I'm pretty good. But
Pretty
they are
much,
little feet.
I pretty much just go like
Pew pew.
at the closest rat.
Yep.
And presume that I gotta roll the d20 to...
Natural 1?
No.
You miss your firebolt.
Might actually miss my firebolt. That would be hilarious. What do I get?
You add your proficiency modifier, then you also add your... this is your wizard one.
Oh, this is with the spell.
You add your intelligence modifier to it. So that should be, your proficiency should be 3.
3, yeah.
And your intelligence is...
Plus 4, so...
So that means you add 7 to the
to the roll.
roll. And what did you get?
9.
Okay, so...
More on the...
So... Phew! Zap into the... and you hit the tile right next to the rat. The rat turns around and looks at you.
Great.
Ooh.
Great! I really should have rerolled that, but, you know.
Oh,
Okay.
Rat is not happy.
So, Cheval, there is a distracted rat.
There is a distracted rat. I'm gonna smack the distracted rat.
I'm gonna smack it.
Whack.
See, I helped, right?
Oh yes, definitely.
Oh yeah,
What was that?
totally.
You must feel the assistance when my cloak's on fire.
I haven't used a spell in a while, okay?
Smacking the distracted rat.
You get a +2 because it's flamed. Ish.
16.
16, you hit the rat. How much damage do you do?
So it's
It'll be funny if it's like, I do 1 damage.
4d8 plus 3.
Yeah, I think it probably just gets, like, exploded in my face.
Probably. 9, 18, 21.
21. Okay, so you're swinging with a longsword. Okay, so rat ball goes flying out through the door,
Yeah.
and someone with their finger pointed at the rat is just splatter.
Yep. Do I get free action words like I do with Pathfinder?
Sure.
You dick.
You deserved it.
Yep.
Bonus.
That pretty much sums up our characters' interactions.
Yep. And then second attack as well.
Mhm. So I'll say, that one's
That
dead.
one's
That
dead.
one's dead.
Lovely. And I'll see the next one closest to the door. Oops. 18.
18, so it goes splatter as well.
Okay.
So, if you roll a 1 on every dice, you still kill it.
Fair. Splat.
But I thought I'd let you roll the first time just to see how bad it was. And so now both Zal and Shopa are covered in rat gore.
Yeah.
As you go,
wonderful.
splat.
I'm having fun!
I'll find that thing.
How big's the doorway?
Doorway is about 10 feet wide. Big doorway so you can walk through.
And then I can just walk onto the other side.
You can technically, because you open the door and walk through while backing you up.
I'm going to create a choke point. I'm going to go behind. I'm going to go to the doorway.
So when you step there, that one, and that one get an attack of opportunity on you. Because you've left their threatening area. That is the base rule of D&D. So one gets a 15, one gets a 12, and one gets an 8.
Beautiful.
And then as you step back further,
Get 3 more.
you get from that one, well, technically if you stand on this side, it's that one and that one. So only 2 more.
And 2 more. Okay, cool.
So a 6 and a 10. How's that?
No!
Tink, 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 tink.
Hey, the new armor's coming in handy, right?
Yeah, actually.
And then Shofar, you're covered in rat stuff, and the paladin has closed in, so you get more paladin.
I take it you're... Why are you retreating, by the way?
I'm creating a choke point.
Uh-huh.
No, I can't say that.
Choke point.
Yeah. So it's just like, why? Choke point. Also sums up character interactions.
Yeah.
Just why?
Using brain.
Tactics.
Points to Master Rat. Not using brain.
and Cheval's just left enough that I can keep going zip zip through behind him.
I feel like I just start shouting insults at the rats. Vicious mockery.
Vicious mockery.
I believe you can mock the rats.
Oh, that's
Pretty
hilarious.
sure as long as they have intelligence, isn't it? You can.
It does psychic damage, so...
I think it's more the intent of
It
vicious
says
mockery.
the target does not need to understand you.
Yeah, it's the intent of the vicious mockery. Like, you fucking rats, you thing, you know.
Yeah.
I hate your
It
guts.
has to succeed on a wisdom
I have
saving throw.
PTSD because of you.
As long as the target can hear you.
Yep.
If it has no ears and no way of hearing, then you can't target it.
doesn't do anything. Alright, let's give it a go.
Oh, easy earplugs.
Technically, if you did block out all sound, you would not be affected by vicious mockery.
Nice.
Range 60 feet, so step in range, one action.
So just as you back up, the Disney princess screams in your ear.
What's new?
Whoa.
Well, it's a vicious mockery. Everyone can hear what you're saying.
Yeah. It's a string of insults laced subtle and charming.
It's not subtle at all. So, you dirty rat! Me?
So do they just have to do the saving throw, or do I...
So, what happens when you throw a vicious mockery at something? They get a saving throw. You do not have a dice roll whatsoever.
Right, that's right, yeah.
You get to pass on the dice roll to the GM, who will use it with the flashy dice.
Actually,
Oh.
So, well, they obviously saved that one. Then.
I just went flashy
Yeah.
dice and it flashes like,
Yeah.
okay.
you encouraged the dice, Martin. How dare you?
Yeah, there's something odd here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I call GM BS here.
I agree. These GM BS actually roll that bit going, and the flashy dice. Ooh.
And on command.
Yeah, well, no, I guess nothing happened.
Beware the smiling GM.
Well, hey, it's like when I say, and you'll roll a 1, and dink, that's a 1.
Yep.
Fate has called.
Fate has indeed called.
Okay, so yes, you mock that rat viciously.
Yep.
It looks at you.
Okay.
Apparently, it didn't like your insult.
Oh. Oh no.
Oh no.
I'm using my action to move to the back of the room.
You are against the wall.
You're in the
Oh.
corridor.
Right, right against the wall.
Yeah.
Can I
You got the
slide?
paladin in front of you.
Can I slide?
Do you want
Along
to
the
slide
wall?
towards where the hole in the wall was, where the trap came, where the boulder came from, or do you want to walk past the rest of them and go and retreat towards where
Excuse me, pardon me, coming through.
push your way past everyone and start retreating?
Yeah, I'll start retreating.
Okay, so push, shut door.
Yeah. Have fun with that.
Oh.
Are you adding your third fear of rats back? Are you adding your fear of rats back in now?
It looked at me weird.
Okay.
You weird.
Rat moves in and starts attacking.
Yep.
Okay, obviously no natural 20, it was a 15.
Yep.
Rat moves in and tries to bitey bite.
Obviously with the natural 20, I need time to process this rat.
So, got an 11.
Mm-hmm.
Rat moves in, technically you're in the middle there, and it goes to
Sure.
bitey bite, and gets a 8. Rat moves in, squeaks at its friend. Rat moves in, squeaks at its friend. Rat moves in, squeaks at its friend. Rat moves in, squeaks at all of them to get out of its way. Rat moves in and tells the rest of them off. Whereas if they were actually intelligent ones, it's move in, bite, move out. Move in, bite, move out.
Yeah.
And they could all have attacked you that round.
Oh yeah.
But they don't have pack tactics.
Nope.
So, Zal, you can see all these rats and they're attacking the closest thing they can do. And none of them moved up beside you, they weren't that smart.
Oh, this is fantastic. I just realised.
Burning hands range?
No, I'm now behind a door, so I can do the angry old neighbour lady thing.
Go
Open the door, yell vicious mockery, and close the door.
Technically, yes.
I guess I just try Firebolt again.
Okay. Because you can.
Because I can. That is a non-natural 20.
Non-natural 20, you actually hit a rat.
No. Shock horror. I thought I had like a arcing lightning one, but
Lightning arc.
pardon?
That's called lightning arc.
Yeah.
But that was in Pathfinder.
Oh, is it? I thought there was a similar one in D&D.
I think there is
chain
as well.
lightning.
Or chain lightning.
Chain lightning is a
yeah.
high level spell.
Oh, it's higher?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Really high.
It's about 5 or 6 level.
Oh, really? Oh.
Mm-hmm.
But-
Yeah, I was just trying to look it up before. But that's fine. I thought, yeah, I had an AoE one as well, but I can't see one listed. Again, I really need to go through my
6th level evocation.
Ooh, okay.
That's okay. We're going to end up normalizing all the characters anyway, and you'll be getting in extra spells at that point.
Yeah, no, it's also just because I haven't actually updated my spell list, I think, in like 2 levels, so... Oops.
We'll get there.
We'll get there. I'll have plenty of time by next week. Yeah, so, 2d10 fire damage.
So there's a chance you won't actually take it out.
Really?
Yeah, it might be just singe and the rat just looks at him. Is that where it's your going? I'll just go past.
Because the best thing was I have the aura of protection, and I had to choose whether I was going to save Cheval or Zal. Cheval's fucked off, so Zal it is.
That's fair.
Math.
Oh no, that wasn't the one. Shit. Okay, slipped up. I don't know.
Reroll that one.
I think I'll roll that one. It ended up a 5 anyway. 10.
Your character's earth-based, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay, so yes, 10 damage. It sizzles the rat, and the rat just collapses.
Yep.
It has that look of.
Yep.
So there's another one gone. This one,
Shooting one of the ones in front.
Yep.
probably.
I could aim for ones at the back. Like, I could aim anywhere. I could get the ones that are, like, squeaking at their friends to get out of the way, like, hey, I can still get you back there.
Actually, that probably would have been a better idea, because I can slap everything in the front.
Yeah, then I might do
But
that.
you can also move and slap and move back if you wish to.
Oh, okay, I'll do that then.
Because movement is your entire turn, not an action.
That's
Yeah.
right, that's right.
It's a good distinction between the two games.
Yes.
Yep.
Which brings us to Cheval, who can then show us how that
Seven.
happens.
Seven.
There are 2 within range of you right now, anyway.
Oh, well, I'm going to slap him. Slap him with my lonesome.
Oh no, D10s.
24.
That is, that one's, sliced in many places.
Cool. Ooh, 15.
15. That one's also sliced in many places.
Okay. They are sweet. And just
So the
holding the doorway.
difficulty of each rat is considered an 1/8 of a challenge.
Hey. So we're just having fun with target practice right now.
It's funny because you missed with your first fire.
Oh. 6. See,
Okay.
I needed practice with my fireball. I needed to get my little zappy cannon going. I needed to calibrate it.
And now, Shofar,
And you ran slow.
you don't know the door shut.
Yeah, you shut.
Can I open the door?
You open up, you can see some rats. Do you want to yell insults at them and then shut the door? Okay, so, how much damage does your insult do?
2d4.
Ooh.
To how many? Just one? Or?
Just one.
This one.
The one that gave me that really bad look.
It's dead.
Oh my god, and his cousin. 5 damage.
Okay, you seem to have, you see its eyes just go all bloody, and it's just looking at you with bloody eyes.
It's still standing. Still dead?
Yeah.
He's got bloody eyes.
Your words didn't do enough.
Okay, so that one starts running past Shofar, and can actually reach the door after provoking an attack from the paladin.
I was so tempted to say kind of like yours.
19.
19, and then he goes kasplooey in stuff all over the passageway.
Yep. Goes squeeze, squeeze, squeeze.
Rushes up to you.
Yep.
Rushes up to you.
Nope.
Rushes up to you.
Nope.
Rushes up to yells and squeaks menacingly.
Yep.
You're still in my way.
Okay. So, Sal. Apparently one got past and then just went splatter everywhere.
What do you like to think is like 2 halves of a rat went either direction on you?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm covered in even more rat guts now. Thank God I have.
No, I protect
precipitate.
you from the rat guts.
Oh,
This
okay.
is just the body of the rat that's splat up against the other side of your wall.
Right.
So a rat with really bloodied eyes is staring at you,
Yeah, one eye from each
and
side.
its feet are the other way,
Still trying to get...
still twitching.
Yeah.
I target practice the one that squeaked really loudly.
Okay.
Hitting 15.
15. You still managed to hit it, even though it's got cover from its friends.
Well, your first fireball was serious.
Hmm?
Your first fireball.
Well, when you roll a 2.
Yeah. It's funny because most of that plus came on the actual. Oh, I don't think I take it down. 5.
5. It's singed and it's still standing.
Yeah. That's annoying.
Okay.
I may have to change up my tactics here.
Sure will.
The usual. Ooh, I think I missed one. The 9.
You actually it just moves back a bit as your blade just goes right where its head was.
One of these are going, la 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 la, don't really care, just swing my sword around.
Target practice, right?
Could be worse. It could swing all the way back and hit the person behind you. I'm protecting you, stab.
Stab.
22.
Yeah.
That's it. And then you manage to recover and take one of them out.
Style points, I like swing up and miss one, but I like do a pirouette and come down and slash up.
Okay, sure for it.
Okie doke.
You have no idea what's going on outside because the door's shut.
Exactly. I'm going to open the door.
There's more rats. They're closer. There's even rat guts at the
Did
door.
you just... Oh.
Yep. Sofa is being so helpful right now.
I am. I'm making sure that these rats die on the other side of this door, so I don't regain my fear
blood down them.
of rats. Yeah, exactly. I will vicious mockery another rat.
Okay. Okay, its head just goes boom.
Oh, okay.
The worst you could roll was 2. It was already slightly singed.
I had the one in the back.
Guess it's dead then.
Yep.
Well, I thought giving you at least 1 win.
Yeah.
Because he had to roll a 3 and a 4 or 2 4s to take out a rat otherwise.
You probably hear Sherpa
7 hit
scream
points.
some profanities like, "You're taking me out of the room!" As they close the door.
And the one that you burnt just sort of looks at him and he goes poof. And basically it just explodes spontaneously.
Excuse me? Watch your mouth. You are Disney after all.
And the remaining 2 try to bite our fearless paladin.
Yep.
One gets a 17.
Nope.
And the other one got a 7 on the roll, but made it a 30. 11. So it's like... So, you just going to worry about it, or just going to say, look, I'm helping?
Go wash Chauffeur's mouth for a second.
Shoot the door with the flame instead? Dink!
Shoot Paladin. Don't. I will know.
Pull out the arrow.
Yeah, these rats aren't worth my arrows. Come on.
They really aren't.
I mean, I'm using cantrips for a reason.
I'm just having fun killing rats.
I was tempted to magic missile so I could get more than one. But
That's a bit of a waste.
yeah, I know.
It's like, I hit all the rats! And they're all looking at me.
1d4?
What?
1d4 plus 1 per bolt.
And
And you have to declare all the bolts on the target before you roll damage.
yeah, because I can heighten and get more bolts.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's kind of a waste. That's why I've been using cantrip.
When Martin said they're all packed into that doorway, he's a burning hand grenade, I'm like, I could, but I don't want to waste a second level spell on rats.
Yeah, more zappy.
I learned from my skeletons, okay? The skeletons was a bit anticlimactic.
17.
17, you hit.
Look it in.
9, 10, 11, 12.
Yeah.
Okay, so it explodes in flame. You're feeling a little more empowered.
Yep. I'm getting the hang of this Zapper cannon.
So you might want to start getting something like force damage or acid damage, because you do extra 3 damage when you use those spells.
Yeah. I've got a lot of necrotic and fire.
Though when
and
you do lightning or thunder damage, you do 3 less damage.
Yeah, I think there was a wizard spell that I was going to take for this level that was an acid type damage. But I haven't written it down yet, so... That's fine. I'll
Okay,
fix
so you've left one left for our fearless paladin.
it. Yep.
Do it. Waste a first level spell slot. Devised man. No, I'm
I will kill you
with everything!
I'm gonna get this rat real good.
And then it dodges.
What? You roll a 1.
That's a 24.
Okay, and then Super Squeege, as you put 2 swings into that final one, because, well, why not?
Dice trap anyone?
Dice trap.
And there's ratatouille everywhere.
Going through the blood and guts of, is there anything left of the mound, or is it just all rats?
I know that there's still the mound that they pull themselves out of. You can go investigate that mound.
Yeah, we'll go investigate the mound.
Yummy blood guts, rat guts everywhere.
Yeah!
Okay.
I yell at Sofa, it's okay now, just mind the dead one in the corridor.
Okay, so Zal gets to make a Constitution saving throw with advantage,
Ooh.
covered in rat guts that are, disease ridden.
She's 10 feet within me.
Yep, technically.
I would have...
So
I
you-
would
so you- so
have
not-
prestidigitation first before
It doesn't-
moving on,
well-
but
This is basically because you're in the middle of the splatting everywhere.
does...
And the Disney princess will also get to make it, but you get advantage because you weren't actually bitten.
Okay, I get to make it even behind the door.
Yes, because you were
got
going in
splattered
it
with the
before.
first one that I just decapitated.
Ah.
Yes.
sorry, what is a con?
Con saving throw.
13?
You're good.
16. Because you're within 10 feet of me.
Oh.
You get my charisma bonus too.
Oh, do I?
Yes.
And
or protection. You are welcome. I
Thank
hate you.
With advantage,
so
remember?
16 feet first roll.
I'm
With
much
advantage.
better. So 16.
Yeah, I rolled 2 dice at the same time.
Oh, what was the other one?
The other one was like a 4 or something.
So both of them, no problems.
Both of them.
Because the Disney princess was within range at the original time as well.
It-
So it was in the aura as well.
It's not a ritual.
What was that?
So it's within me, and I get to choose one ally.
Oh, you choose one of them.
Yeah, and that's the reason why I was making fun of Sofa when she went behind the door. I was choosing between Sofa or Zal, and then Sofa fucked off. So I went, okay, beautiful.
For the saving throw bonus.
Yes.
Yeah.
it's just 40. Okay,
Yeah, I
so
rolled like a 13.
It's actually a passive ability. Myself and an ally get a bonus to a saving throw equal to my charisma modifier within 10 feet. Must be conscious.
inside the rat's nest is lots of coins.
Ooh!
Shiny, shiny gold.
Yay!
You pull out 300 coins.
Okay.
Plus 4 pieces of Alexandrite.
Alexandrite.
Mm-hmm.
We'll figure out what that
A rare
is.
gemstone.
And how many pieces?
4 of those. That seem to be identically cut.
Nice. So 4 pieces of Alexandrite and 300 coins.
How?
Is it different assortments of coins?
No, they are all stamped in an unusual symbol.
Huh. Cool. Are we glad we came into the rat-infested room now?
Definitely. Not.
I was about to say, you hid behind yourself another door, okay?
Yeah, I'm just gonna.
Yeah, I've noticed you haven't even come out after I said they're all gone, just mind the dead one in the corridor.
Yeah.
And you're just like, I don't believe you.
Okay, so yes, you've managed to count out all the shiny, shiny stuff before the Disney princess joins you.
Yeah, 5 minutes later, guys.
I did yell at you. You just chose to ignore me.
And that's where you scratch at the door and going, "We've eaten them."
No, I probably make a squeaking sound when he walks in.
And there's dead rats everywhere. Everywhere you see
You
dead
get a
rats.
vicious mockery thrown your way.
Yeah, alright.
Yeah.
So you don't see dead people, you see dead rats.
That's horrible, no thank you. Some of them are still twitching.
So
Even
what?
dead ones come into these.
Was there anything in this pile that would have been particularly interesting for rats, or were they just choosing to have a rat orgy on coins?
Oh no, this was part of their nest.
Oh.
They would bring shiny back to their nest.
Oh. Shiny to the nest. Cool.
Which is actually one of the best stocked out treasure areas of this section.
Nice. And
Yes,
let's just
he's got
stand. Do we
some-
recognize the symbol or
No,
no? Okay.
never seen it before.
But we have 300 of them now,
Mhm.
so okay.
Okay, so yes, and then there the door lets you go out of the room into the other corridor, bypassing where the trap closed off the hallway.
Oh, cool.
So you can.
Here.
Mm.
Oh, so that's the room. Cool. Okay. Well, do you want to go adventure the other thing that I found earlier?
It's like more and more choices everywhere you go.
I mean, this floor is pretty big.
Walk down the corridor and turn right down 90 feet.
Sure.
Cool.
Brave paladin, lead the way.
Finder of treasure.
Okay, so you head down that way and 90 feet down that pathway you come to a dead end. So you walk down 90 feet, then you turn right, go 90 feet, and there's nothing. No doors anywhere either side. Just a wall.
Must have been a protective thing for the boulder.
And the boulder's not here either.
No, as in the boulder's gone straight down the corridor.
But a 90-foot protective thing is a long corridor. They have nothing there.
Can we, on, like, walking back, like, examine the walls on the stuff?
You can examine the walls as I look for rolls for examining things.
I presume it's
Investigation?
investigation or survival.
And
Perception.
sometimes it's also perception as well.
Yeah. Depends what. Yeah.
Who has no?
Hmm?
On every piece of stone.
Technically, I do. But I'm not wasting I think, what is it, the level slot for that?
Yeah, sure.
No, second level slot.
Okay.
Because the wizards here taught me knock. Because I was like, I really need to learn knock, and they're like, we can do that for you. Yay!
Okay, so give me a perception roll.
Perception?
Perception of
Captions.
For you?
Well, unless you're looking at the corridor as well.
Well, I think we're all down the corridor. We're all on the look for something.
Because we're like, oh, this is a bit weird having such a long corridor that leads to nowhere.
Yeah. No, perception's the best thing to say.
Yeah, my perception's not great either.
It's a corridor.
Yep, it's nice that there's a corridor there. It's great to have corridors. Corridors are great.
I'm tempted to re-roll mine as well, but...
I'm not really wrong. It's also a mystery of some
9.
9, looking around. No, they're just walls here. You spend a bit of time looking and checking walls, and yet they're walls.
I'm just proving to Zal that I can see just a little bit better. 10.
Yep, you still find walls as well.
No, I still find walls. I'm having a closer look at these walls.
So yes, you spend a bit of time, about an hour's past, checking this hallway.
Okay.
I can do stone sense if you want.
Well, then why did you do that?
Stone sense. Yep, there's stone
Nobody
here.
asks me.
What does stone sense get for you?
It gives me advantages on when I'm inspecting different stones and walls and things.
Mm-hmm.
we said it's a bit odd that this corridor goes nowhere.
Two of us
And
were
then-
intrigued by it, and then
Sophie's
Sophie's
just like, nobody asked me. Well, we kind of did say it out loud.
Sophie's like too busy curling up in a corner from rats.
yeah.
Plus, it was kind of entertaining to watch you guys try first.
Yeah, great, thanks.
You're welcome.
And then rolls a natural one.
Yeah, watch my natural one. I'm just gonna double check.
Here it comes. Who's decided?
So I don't want to do the wrong thing.
I got splitted.
No,
There's rubbies everywhere.
Report on.
Yeah.
Almost up to 4 million. And then 7 more to go.
Here it is. Here we go. Stone cunning. Whenever you make an intelligence history check related to the origin of stonework, you are considered proficient in the history skill and add double your proficiency bonus to the check.
Doesn't give you anything for finding secret doors, though.
No,
Is
it
there
doesn't.
already?
So,
So, give me a perception roll.
alright.
So is your perception doubled or not in that terms?
No.
Not for doors.
Not
For finding, like, when it's looking at the history of stone and what kind of stone it is,
right.
technically yes, but actual hidden things. Like, I could tell you the likelihood that it might be a door made from this stone, but I couldn't tell you if there's an actual door there.
Right.
Until they go, oh, this door. You go,
Huh, I pressed this stone.
this is not a natural stone.
yeah, pretty much.
So it looks like you cut off the, you used a perception, didn't you?
Yep.
Not the Barton Highway.
That's a 12.
So 12. Yeah, you can confirm there are no doors here.
Okay.
Alright. Still go to the snow.
So, after, spending the hour and a bit looking for doors,
Mm.
I just wanted to see if I can compare the stone on this wall to the stone on that wall. Just
Well, knowing it took us.
they all look like they came from the same quarry.
Okay, so there's no actual difference. Okay, cool. Alright.
So
So,
did that take you another hour? Or?
No, it's just a quick.
You were just having a quick look at the end.
Okay.
You didn't look the entire length like you guys did. There are 9 squares to go through and check.
Well, you said there might be a door at the end, so I was checking the end one.
Okay.
Okay, so yes, you spent a bit of time looking and no door.
Hold on.
I'm
Any buttons,
disappointed.
levers?
Not that you could see. Not in the corridor.
And the boulder kept on going?
The boulder went past the corridor.
Yeah, so maybe we go back
Let's
and
follow
follow the boulder.
We'll follow the boulder down.
Okay. 60 feet south, you come across a door, and the corridor turns to the right another 20 feet down, and there are markings showing the boulder went around the corner.
So it's
Boulder
like
went around the
curved.
corner.
Hit the corner and then continue going
Also,
around.
it's actually just a curve. Okay, well, you follow the boulder.
You
Wait,
don't
are we gonna
use
check out the door?
Oh, there's the door here.
Yeah, there's a door.
Oh, okay, we took the door.
Door just before the corner.
Yeah, door just before the corner. Yeah.
Okay. And for the first time in a while, the door doesn't open.
Ooh.
Door does not open.
Interesting.
Door is locked.
You try the handle, it's locked.
It's locked.
Are you going to use your key called the shoulder?
I want to see him try to open this door first, and then as he goes to do it,
Don't. Did not. I'm gonna use the shoulder.
Okay. So you give me a strength check.
Strength.
By Gorm.
By Gorm.
By God, I will get this door open.
By Gorm. Strength check. I bounce off the door.
4. Okay.
Bonk.
You managed to face plant.
Into the door, yeah. Okay, hold on. Not using face, using shoulder. Understood. Okay.
Apparently you're not used to the armor, it just twisted right.
Yeah,
face
no,
planting.
yeah. Not used to the lack of twisting in play.
It's all very used.
Better, I'm getting used to it. 9.
9. Okay, you still managed to face plant, but just not as hard.
Keep on trying.
Everyone else is amused by your antics.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You see Zala like starting to come over like.
No, we're getting better. We're getting better. That's a 14.
14. Okay, you managed to actually put your shoulder into it, and there's a slight dent in the stone door.
Dent in the stone door.
Dent in the stone door.
Yeah, it's basically you can sort of see a little bit of where the shoulder bit hit the door.
Oh, so I'm taking the chunk out of the stone.
Yeah.
And then I probably realise it's a stone door.
All the doors here have been stone.
Huh. I'm lost for ideas. Who's up next?
I'm trying to find.
I've got an average intelligence. An
Um,
intelligence of 11. Slightly above average.
Spell descriptions. There we go. That's what I was looking for. Knock. Apparently, is the only one in there. That is L, not Cal. There it is. There it is. It is a 2nd level spell. It is instantaneous. Choose an object that you can see within range. The object can be a door, box, chest, set of manacles, padlock, or other object contains a mundane
Door.
or metal means to prevent access. Target is held shut by a mundane lock, or is stuck or barred, becomes unlocked, unstuck, unbarred. The object has multiple locks, only one of them is unlocked. If you choose the target that is held shut with arcane lock, the spell is suppressed for 10 minutes? What does that mean?
It means that if you shut the door after the 10 minutes, it relocks.
Oh, but that's only magical locks, right?
Yes.
Right, okay.
So you cast a knock.
I will cast knock.
Okay, you cast knock, and I hear the click,
I try and open the door.
and then you pull the door open.
Sweet. I like this spell already.
Cupid's magic.
Okay, so looking in, just so you know, it was a DC 18 strength check to force the door.
Wow. I was getting there.
It is why it was quite amusing when it just kept bouncing.
So, and Zal's just like, there. Strong paladin, there.
Okay, so you see a 30-foot square chamber, which is dusty, with an elaborate jeweled coffin lying in the center of the room.
Here we go again.
So dual one's got 2 next to each other.
So an elaborate jeweled coffin lies in the center of the room.
So just one coffin.
Oh, as in
Yeah, but it's
gems and stuff.
Yeah, it's
For some reason my brain went to jewel as in multiple.
No.
Mine.
Jewel.
Yeah.
Wisdom
Extra-
saving
extra-
throw for Calprix.
Extra ooze.
Yeah.
Okay, so I will give Zal a perception roll, perception check.
Percepticon.
I am perceptifying by 11.
By 11. Yep, all looks good.
Sorry?
All looks good. And no reason am I picking up a book and looking through it.
No, not at all.
You're gonna get caught by something in a minute.
Yeah, just wait till he flicks through it. Ooh, that's gonna hurt. Ooh. It's like,
Yeah.
Natural 20, and
He's-
you're dead.
He's already smiling, so you know it's
You aware of the
not.
smiling GM?
It's not that I'm worried yet.
Oh no, you better be worried. You're always be worried about the smiling.
Okay.
Do I cast false slide for myself yet?
Well, I don't think you have a chance.
Okay, so yes, there's that jeweled coffin in the center of the room.
Yeah.
No other exits.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Is my detect magic still up?
Not by this stage, because you'd spent all that time looking in the corridor.
That is true.
And you also spend multiple times casting a full spell.
That's
That
not
doesn't
concentration.
It is in Pathfinder.
But yeah, you also
In
concentrate.
Pathfinder, you need to spend an action to maintain.
Oh, to maintain, right? Yep.
But in this one, you can only have
But
one
yes, you were
concentration running
you
at
were
a time.
concentrating on the 90 foot.
And if you took damage, then there's a chance you'd lose your spell.
More, I think, Detect Magic lasts only like 10 minutes, so
Yeah.
after a fast.
Okay, so you go in and examine nice shiny coffin.
I probably step just in the doorway.
Okay.
And I'm still a little bit wary of coffins and stuff because of my nose being.
What's your armor class?
Door.
16,
Okay.
I think.
Okay. You feel yourself brush against cobwebs as you step in.
Oh.
And the coffin does look quite nice and shiny.
Mhm.
Do you look up?
Yeah, I'd probably try and look around again.
Perception roll.
12.
Shiny coffin. It looks like it's got all these gems on it, and you can see it's got probably about 30 odd different pieces of gems and jewelry on them.
You're really fixated on this coffin.
Okay, so as Zal's gone in, is Cheval a bit annoyed about the whole fact that magic beats your shoulder? Okay, so is Disney Princess going in?
Yes, I will.
Okay.
Oh no, I'm still going in. I'm holding it.
Do I still have time to say, like I brushed up against something walking in?
You're too busy distracted by these cobwebs and the shiny. Okay, so the three of you are in staring at this nice jeweled coffin.
Mm-hmm.
You think you can actually pry up a lot of those jewels?
Yeah.
Looks like a fortune in jewels on it.
Do we really need to?
And inside your head you hear the voices of Calcrix. You left jewels behind.
Well. That's okay.
It's not the back of my head. It's literally probably in my ear going, shiny jewels.
You got lots of Calcric bribes here.
Other than the coffin,
Mm-hmm.
because I haven't had a look around. What's around?
Okay, give me a perception roll.
Did anyone else brush up against anything on the way in?
Nope, just you.
Just me?
Well, you cleared the path for
Yeah,
them.
you were leading.
Great.
No one had been in here for a while.
There's definitely a shiny coffin in the middle. I got a 5.
Yep, the shiny coffin's really that very impressive. Okay, so what is Disney Princess's armor class?
Mine is...
Yours should be good.
It is good.
Because I gave you my stuff.
Yeah, I also have my shield as well. I can use shields.
And new shields, I just
But I don't think I mentioned I was using my shield currently, so I will not use it at the moment.
Mhm.
That's not fair. So 18.
18. Okay, give me a Constitution saving throw.
Oh. Ouch.
That's 11.
Just gonna just double check.
It's an 11.
Just give me 1 second. I'm just gonna make sure that I'm just gonna read my ability just to make sure that it's not just you know.
I thought you said only one Pokemon.
Yeah, but I'm not using you. I'm using him now. So I'm just gonna make sure. I just need to make sure. Paladin. Abilities. What a race for me. Lay on hands.
Well, I did get a shield. That's right.
That's good. I'm glad I figured that out.
No, because I bought a whole bunch off the trader caravan.
Oh. So, starting with whenever you are a friendly creature, doesn't have to be just one. So because Stefan's making a saving throw, The creature gets a bonus to the saving throw equal to your modifier.
Huh.
So it's just whenever we're making saving throws, we get bonuses to.
Nice.
Do you have to pick the person?
Not
This is a friendly, you or a friendly creature.
nice.
So you get +3.
Okay, so that makes it 14.
Okay. So on a 14, you feel something sting you, dealing 5 points of poison damage.
Rude. Oof.
Absolutely rude.
It feels like webbing on your neck.
Oh, okay. This is not
Dangling from above.
Yeah. Not fun.
Okay, so I'm going to go into initiative now.
There he is. Yeah. Lots of fighting. The dungeon
now I
battle.
get a high one. Okay, can I get a 19 then?
You can get a 19.
Yay.
You just shown you can get a 19.
I did. Indeed.
So
Shiny 19.
Tis.
So much I can do.
Who did you do?
So what did
Much.
our fearless paladin do?
Fearless Paladin got 12.
What did Zal get?
A non-natural 20.
Is that because Chauffeur got 19?
Yes.
No, it's because my dad didn't try to kill me today for once.
So that's been behaving. There have been some low rolls, but I haven't really mattered. I'm just going with the story.
Okay, so Zal, you hear Disney princess go,
Oh, ow.
I look at Sofa.
"Your poison running through my veins." Okay, give me a perception roll.
Also, again, non-natural
Oh, sorry.
20.
Your natural 20. Okay, so looking almost like the same color as the ceiling, you see what appears to be a large creature above all of you,
Oh boy.
with tentacles from mouth around its mouth, and it had and one of them is basically sliding along Disney Princess's neck.
Ooh.
So think the equivalent of blue bottle jellyfish effect on someone.
So am I kind of getting
Oh.
flashbacks of the groper that killed me like forever and ever ago?
Very much so, because it does look like that.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
That's fun.
And nice and horrifying for you.
Yes. I kind of want to get the tentacle off the things next, but I also want to do a nature roll.
And you realise that's the webbing you felt walking into the room.
Ooh, great.
Whoa.
I woke it up.
Yeah, you
Ooh,
did.
great.
You've also got it all over you.
No, but I've just got webbing, not an actual
Oh no,
tentacle.
the webbing is
the
it.
tentacle.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
It is a large creature. It covers all the squares you're in, and it's
Yeah.
above you.
Oh. What? And even though we're just inside the door.
Yep. It was just above the door.
Let's have some fun. Let's kill it.
It-
Let's kill it quick.
Oh.
so
Fire.
basically,
How high is
you are with it. It's directly above you, so it's about it's the equivalent of the 10 foot above
So
you.
I can hit it with.
Yeah, you can just hit it by springing up.
Hey.
Oh. So I can't reach it by touch, but I can touch it.
No, technically you could reach its tentacles, which is touching it, because its tentacles are on you.
Yeah.
I could try this, see if it works.
You could turn to it and say, "Do you mind?"
Yeah, pretty much.
Yes, take Sofa as the snack.
Yeah.
You must be.
What is it? How many first level spells do I get? As in...
Not enough.
Yeah.
What is classes?
Not always the
Cleric.
way.
It is.
So at level, what are we, 7, I can cast 3 second level
Yes.
spells a day?
Yes.
You've cast it before.
I cast knock, but that's 3rd level.
Oh, okay.
No, actually, no, sorry, it is the
It's
second level as
So you
well.
got 2.
So I've got 2 left.
You got 2 left.
Oh, actually, sorry, it is a 1st level, but I can cast it higher. So I have a few more 1st level spells to expand. Alright, let's do this. Inflict wounds. Touch spell.
Mhm.
It is instantaneous. I cast it at 3rd level.
Yep.
Which does... So... 3d10 as its standard. If I'm casting it at 3rd, it will do 3, 4, 5 d10?
I'll just quickly check it up to confirm.
So you are correct. It'll do 5d10.
Yep, roll your 5d10.
So that's 3d10 normal as a 1st level spell. And then it's two slots higher, so yeah, it's another 2d10.
1, 2, 3.
5d10 is a nice little
But
spell
you have
to
to
draw.
make a touch attack.
I'm literally grabbing.
Yeah, but you still have to make
You still got to touch it.
I still gotta touch it.
Mhm.
Right, that is true. It is a cleric spell, so that is
Proficiency plus.
Wisdom, I believe. No, yeah, wisdom.
It is wisdom.
It's a spell attack.
That should actually plus 5 now because I'm plus 3. Yeah, 4, 5 because I'm plus 2.
Mm-hmm.
16.
16, you hit.
Nice.
16 touch.
Well, it's not that hard when it's, covering everyone.
3,
So paladin.
Technically got its tentacles over you as well.
4.
Well, yeah, over me. Not on me.
Well, you walked through its tentacles. Everyone walked through its tentacles.
Oh, okay.
It just had the feeling of cobwebs.
Math. You need a calculator.
Yeah, I do. I'm actually roll pretty right.
21, 26.
26?
Mhm.
26?
26. You see the damage arc up over the creature.
Sweet.
Okay. You tried to leave its tentacles? Because you're still surrounded by all its tentacles. That you thought was just, webbing.
Yeah, I don't know if that would provoke attack of opportunity or whether I'm stuck.
I just stay still. And
I'd
whack it.
rather not die today. I think I'm just going to stay
Stay
where
still
I am and just keep,
having
hurting.
at it.
Sure. So this thing's tentacles are all over you.
Yeah, I'm currently. I didn't.
You can see the necrotic energy arc into it.
Right. Did I end up taking poison damage?
You did. You took a whole 5 points of poison damage.
No, but poison damage doesn't.
Doesn't
recur over time?
make you poisoned.
Okay.
Um,
Alright.
You made the saving throw, so you were not poisoned.
Okay.
If you had failed the saving throw, then you would have been poisoned.
Am I able to kind of step back away from the tentacle thing?
If you step too far, you then provoke by leaving its.
Opportunity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can cast spells within its area of effect, unless of course it's got the feat that allows it to attack spellcasters, which
Yeah.
not many monsters have.
No.
So attack of opportunity is only leaving their threatening
I
space.
could have cast that up at 4.
You could have spells.
Oh, I should have cast that up at 4.
Oh well.
That's okay. I can do that next time.
I mean, we'll probably need it.
Well, I only have one 4th level slot
A day.
a day,
Yes.
and I'm not sure if that's my highest.
We can spend like a day's rest after this anyway. I've been dungeon diving for quite a long time. We don't know if it is day or night.
I don't know if that's my most powerful.
So it's going to be interesting because I'm going to burn through
Spells.
two second level spell slots very quickly.
So Stefan, what are you trying to do?
I think I'm going to use no, that's not gonna work. Never mind. I will just use this thing is pretty big, isn't it?
Yes, it's large as a horse,
Okay.
and it's directly above everyone.
I don't really have anything against this, actually.
It is a first level spell.
Oh, is that
No, that's one action, but I can see second level.
So just so you know, Josh, you actually saved the party by being in the same aura of Chauffeur. Otherwise, Chauffeur was then going to be carried off without anyone knowing what had happened.
Oh.
Because the saving throw was paralysis.
Ooh.
It was a dink, knock up, take away.
How close is everyone else to me currently?
It's right next to you. You can just
Yeah.
go touch.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's not good. Okay, alright. In that case, I will just cast.
You were milling about the shiny coffin until someone went, "What's that?"
Ow.
Yep. I'm just going to use ill-fated word, I think.
Yep.
ill-fated word?
What does ill-fated word do?
So, oh, my apologies, it's a reaction. Do I have to declare reactions for this?
Reactions generally have a trigger.
Oh.
If the trigger is not done, then you can't use your reaction to do it.
Oh, okay. Never mind then.
What was the trigger?
When an enemy rolls attack ability check or saving throw.
Yep.
Okay. In that case, I will shout insults at it.
So if you wanted to, you can use your reaction when you do your vicious mockery. Because then it's making a saving throw, at which point you can throw in your ill-fated word as part of your vicious mockery.
Oh.
Can you see how that now works? And then you don't get a reaction until the start of your next turn.
Yeah, okay. I'll do that.
Okay. So you viciously mock it.
Yeah. Use my...
And the ill-fated word provides negative dice.
Yeah, roll d4 and subtract number from attack roll, ability check or saving throw.
Okay, so roll your d4.
So it's 40 dollars. If I plus it with my fourth slot, I think that is my most powerful.
So it got a 13 on its wisdom saving throw, which should be a failure.
Yeah, I believe so.
Then you roll your mental damage.
And they also take 24 damage round if I keep it.
2. So 6. 6 damage to it in its head.
Yep.
Okay. And then it is Chauvel's go.
Bonus action. Veil of Immunity. It is on my favorite target.
Okay.
No,
I feel the target lift off me.
Yeah.
I remembered.
Alright, it'll still on here.
I know, and I just felt it leave. Like, oh, that's a nice, pleasant feeling now.
Yes. And how about it?
Mhm.
Using second level.
Smite the bad thing spell.
Exactly. Smite the just hold the smite.
Mm-hmm.
The white smite, sorry. Is it fiend or undead?
No.
Okay.
It is a monstrosity.
It is a mushroom. That's not a surprise.
That is actually its racial type, monstrosity.
Great.
21.
21 is a hit. It's fairly easy to hit.
Yeah, I was gonna say if I got on a 16 on a really bad roll.
Well, most of you will hit it unless you roll below 5.
Right. Good to know.
Lots of dice.
Armor class of 13.
Yeah.
So fairly easy to hit.
Just probably fucking lots of hit points.
It's as beefy as most of you are.
I'm not beefy though.
I said most.
Yeah, thanks.
One more. Probably should have all these things ready with this smacking I'm about to give it.
Unless can you still do your second attack with that?
Oh yes I can.
Nice.
It's a brilliant thing. Yeah, stop it. I'll do it. That'll do it. The best thing is I have greater weapon fighting, so I reroll 1s and 2s.
So is the as an attack action the spell you can use it. If that's the case, it might be it replaces
As the hit, I think.
as the hit.
I mean, again, I reroll 1s and 2s.
No, I meant for the spells, the other spells.
What do you mean?
The smite. I'm
Yeah,
just gonna
yeah.
quickly check that
So
one.
Divine Smite.
Divine smite. Because some of them can only be done once per round.
I think, yeah,
So,
you
so,
can do
when you hit a target with a melee attack.
When you hit a target from melee attack. Okay, yes.
So I'm saying that if I hit it, it was
Yeah.
going to use a Divine Smite.
So you don't declare it until after you hit.
Oh, okay.
Because it says when you hit a target with it,
You're
Divine
right.
smite. It's gonna. So that's on Paladin, I believe. I'll just quickly check
That
that.
is indeed on Paladin. Well, I check that. I'm going to try and find this other D8.
Because it's trying to get all these things straight is the hard
Leave.
part.
Where's this? There it is. Oh, no, oh no. Menu dice.
It's not even as a reaction too, so that is
Yeah, it's a-
very good. So you
yes.
can do it on each hit on the round.
Yes.
It's just one of those things you have to confirm because of the wording.
Yeah, and I understand why. Yeah, so when you roll 1 or 2 on damage dice, so apparently it also classifies for Divine Smite as well. Oh, well, there's only 1, 2 in that.
Which is good.
14... 29...
Okay, my dice ready.
30 points of damage.
30 points of damage. Okay, and then the creature detaches from the roof and lands on everyone.
Oh, great. Ouch.
And we're all being crushed.
And everyone takes 9 points of bludgeoning damage as the creature hits you.
Ow.
Oh no, I'm down to half your points.
With some looking at it, Chauffeur is able to tell you it's a carrion crawler.
Oh, okay. How would I do that?
And that was the second
After you spend some time looking at it after it's dead. Bardic knowledge. It's a very
Bardic knowledge, yeah,
it's
yeah.
a very simple creature.
Oh wait, we
it's
killed
a,
it?
yeah, it's a CR2. You killed it, and as it died, it fell on you.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't get to do my next action. It was going to be awesome. Never mind.
You know what the funny thing was? I was going to make sure Technic's use another one.
Oh.
Well, it had 51 hit points.
Wow, so I did almost half its hit points.
I did over half its hit points.
Nice.
It was a challenge for a second level party.
and Surfer just threw words at it.
As I do.
As usual.
Cheerleader in the back.
But
Yay!
it was dangerous because once it locked up one character, that character was paralyzed until they made a saving throw against the poison.
Yeah.
And the only reason
What was the DC?
Chauffeur
What
wasn't.
was the DC on the poison?
Chauffeur failed it until your thing came up. At which point, no one was going to hear what happened to Chauffeur.
You are very lucky.
Yeah.
What have we learned to this? Stay close
So
to the
what
power.
it was actually was going to do was lift him up and then just drop him on the ground, and all you would have known is Chauffeur fell over for no reason. And then it was going to attack someone else and do the same thing. Luckily, the aura still works while you're paralyzed, but not if you're unconscious.
Yes.
Wow.
You have to be conscious.
Conscious.
Yes.
So I just made that saving throw when I walked in.
Oh no, it failed to hit you. You got a +8
Yeah.
to attack.
Did you not
Oh,
get that disease
right.
so you didn't- yeah.
No, I'm immune to disease. Right. I've divine.
And that was a poison or a disease, so he had to be
Yeah.
immune to poisons for that not to affect him.
Yes.
Yeah.
See, my next action was going to cast Witch Bolt at 4th level, which does not only continual lightning damage if I keep up with concentration, but if I cast it 4th, I do 4d12 damage. And see if I couldn't smack it around, but yeah, someone beat me to the punch.
Someone was going to beat you to a lot of punches.
So you think there's about 3,000 gold worth of gemstones on the outside of his coffin?
Wow.
In garnets and green jade.
Didn't we get told not to.
Knowledge,
Take things.
religion of the tomb.
We also got told not to take things. Technically, we shouldn't have taken them.
I'm not taking anything. I'm
Well,
trying
the
to get-
gold
I'm
that
trying
you
to get
found wasn't in a
understanding.
tomb.
That is also true.
I'm trying to do a religion roll to understand like who this tomb may be. Probably gonna be very hard, but find out.
I mean,
14.
Looking at it, it does seem to be an actual resting place of someone of some form of importance. You can all make a knowledge history roll because you've been taught some stuff from the people here.
19.
19.
18.
17! Okay, so you do recognize this as the resting place of the master thief belonging to the king and queen of Synthethia, the people who originally built this place.
Ooh, yeah, let's not touch this.
But he was basically the reigning thief, rogue, advisor, spy master.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably assassin thrown in there somewhere.
I mean, do we touch this?
I don't think so. I would
Yeah, I'm not gonna touch it with a stick.
touch with a stick. That sounds
No, we're not touching it with a crowbar, okay?
And you shut the door and don't tell the dragon?
Yeah. If to be fair, if we had cracked that door open, it was a will saving throw, or was wisdom saving throw for the Calbricks before.
Luckily, Cockridge is busy dealing with Yodri and Camdu, who are arguing over other things.
Yes. That's very good.
In the room with the magic glowing flames. The two brass things.
Yeah.
I'm not sure who's doing the arguing, but they're arguing. Okay, so the corridor continues on to the left, with markings of where the bowler had gone round.
We'll keep on going.
Okay. As you start walking down that corridor, you can hear the grinding sound of the boulder.
Still going.
Yeah.
Jeez.
And as the corridor turns to the left again, you see the boulder roll in front of you, then roll away from you, and the sound of it rolling.
So it goes in front of us, yeah.
And it rolls in front of you. It comes out from a side and then goes in front and then rolls off to the side. You can hear it moving. Apparently, it's doing a loop.
I was doing a loop.
Yeah.
So what's down this corridor?
Okay, so the corridor is about 30 feet before the boulder just goes in front, and the boulder's moving at about 30 foot around.
It's about our speed. So, so it's not very fast than us.
And you can see to the side of you, or probably say 60 feet around, it would be going fairly fast.
Yeah, I was about to say it should be very fast than us. So.
And you can see to the side of you, about 40 feet down, is a doorway going south. The corridor continues. You could pretty much run across a 30-foot stretch of corridor to where it curves off again. So basically, the boulder is going around this area here.
Oh, so it's actually just doing a small circle.
Yeah.
And we have to time it to go into that door.
You came here, so you'd basically have to hope it gets to a point where it's like here or there, and then just run across, because it takes you 2 rounds.
Or you
You can do a single action, run across.
Can we see it go past before we run across?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that'll be our time to run across. So we're gonna wait. Because we'll wait because we've seen the boulder go in front of us, away from us, and then turn down the corridor. We're just gonna wait here for just to confirm it is doing a loop.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah.
And it's continually doing that loop.
Excellent. So then we're gonna wait for it to cut in front of us, and as it goes away, we're all going to move together.
Okay, you rush across and then come up to another door.
All these cups.
So many times.
Well, it's the same tub.
Yeah, I know it's saying it is the same tub. The big tub.
Okay, so this door is unlocked and opens at your push,
Oh, sure. Okay.
and it's filled with twisted piles of bones on the floor. Several intact skeletons are strewn about among the piles like discarded playthings. They cover the floor so thickly that it's impossible to walk across the room without walking on bones.
Wait, what's this?
The next room they enter.
Oh, did we
So-
go around the corridor?
So they went around here, and the boulder is moving around this loop constantly.
Huh.
So it came out here, rolled down here, and then started going in a loop.
This is going around in a circle.
Right. Which room did we go into?
They decided to go across and then into there,
Okay, cool.
which amusingly has a secret door here, which you never found.
That would be down to 90 foot.
Yeah. I knew there was a door there. I knew it. It's just not that great at looking.
So bones everywhere. What else is in the room?
Okay, you want to have a look around the room?
Yes.
Give me a perception check.
Sounds good.
Reciprocal.
15.
15. You find a nice shiny bone, a little different than the other bones.
Don't like this. Don't like this.
It's a leg bone.
Yes.
So anyone else having a look while the paladin's looking at the shiny bone?
Do your roll perception, please?
You can if you wish to. I said that did anyone else want to look like she was doing it?
Okay.
Nine.
That's not too bad. That's the 18.
An 18? Okay. And what did Zal get on Zal's looking at things?
There's bones.
His bones? How good a roll?
9.
9. Okay, you find a skull that just appeals to you.
A last point.
I compare it to my dad's skull.
It's smaller.
Then it's not as good.
So if you find a bigger skull, it's better. Your dad really has this, and when you say that, when you think that, your dad's head in the ball just turns and stares at you.
No, I'm saying the little skull isn't as cool as my dad. Shouldn't that be like making...
The fact that you're comparing skulls.
Sorry, Dad. I chucked the other skull away.
I was talking to an inanimate object. She's going
Okay,
crazy.
so while you're having a look around the room, you see what appears to be some sort of knob on the side wall. And as you turn it, the wall just slides open and the skull goes flying through the hole. And clatters in the hallway behind it.
I'm gonna watch how far down this skull
It just
goes.
sort of bounces and then stops and it seems to be facing you.
Oh, spooky.
So how far down did this skull go?
Went about 20 foot down the hole.
20 feet.
Yeah, it's off through it.
Okay. Well, I found a corridor and it's about 20 skull steps. So
Well, you were in this corridor before. You recognise the handprints on the walls where the other two were examining the walls rather thoroughly.
oh, okay, right.
Oh, that's okay.
So you've been here before.
Boo.
What else is in the room?
Can you not throw skulls at people though? It's just rude.
I didn't throw it at you.
Just throw it over your shoulder.
I just threw it over my shoulder.
The-
My dad wasn't pleased that I was
That's the
comparing
room you're in
skulls.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was you were in here. That was the secret door. That's where you threw it down. So yes, and there is a door on the other side.
But we have to wade through.
You're already wading through it.
Yeah.
Why?
So there is the crunching of bones with every step.
But why is there so many skulls in here and bones and
You want to find a better one than your dad's?
no? I want to know why so many bones have been piled into this room.
I'm gonna, and also.
I look up.
Nope, there's nothing on the ceiling this time.
No.
You've actually looked.
I'm gonna make a habit of that from here.
So you feel some approval coming from your dad's skull for the first time in a long time.
Yeah, you looked up for
I
us.
looked
Maybe you're learning.
There's too many bones here.
For the second time in about 5 minutes, you hear Zal say, "Thanks, Dad."
I'm gonna pick up this shiny leg bone.
Yep. It just falls apart as you pick it up.
Cool.
Apparently, it's been licked and completely cleaned by something, so much so that there's not even any marrow left in it, and it's just old and desiccated.
Cool. We're probably going to. Oh, actually.
And the reason it was so shiny was there was nothing else left in it.
Is there anything under the pile of bones?
What was that?
Anything under the pile of bones?
Stone.
Stone? Nothing?
You can actually see the stone.
No shiny coins or nothing?
No shiny coins whatsoever.
Easy.
You shift a couple of bones here and there.
Yeah.
Skull sort of leaves its mouth open, staring at Chauvel as you're moving around.
Yeah. We'll move through the other door.
Okay.
Also, who needed healing from?
Everyone.
Well, I mean,
let's make it to the next room and let's have a long rest. We might call it a session. Why?
Because I'd rather heal people before we maybe get into combat again.
I mean, you can sleep with the weird tentacle monsters if you like.
I mean, you're what, down a half?
I'm not half. After surviving rats in a large tube. It's not too bad.
Yeah, I'm done.
And I'm sure you don't really want to rest in the room full of bones.
No, that's what I'm saying. We're going to get to a better room.
No, I know, but like, I'm not saying rest here. I'm saying let me heal you a bit first, just in case we come back into combat.
Okay.
Healing would. I mean, your lay on hands probably does more than this, but that's fine. What else do I have? Prayer of healing. That's probably alright. I prayer of heal everyone. Up to 6 creatures of your choice. And see within range regains hit points equal to 2d8 plus my spellcasting modifier.
We wait in the room of bones for 10 minutes, by the way.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
we wait in the room of bones for 10 minutes.
Okay, it's 10 minutes to cast.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're having a good look for shiny stuff in the bones.
Just
Nothing
making
shiny.
sure. Or does anything belong to like someone else? Or...
They didn't look like they were left with anything.
No. It just seems like this is a place where they just kind of toss like peasants and stuff into. I just have a feeling that was the case. Because you have tombs of royalty, and then you have this room which would probably be peasants or
It was listed as the slaves' burial room.
there it
The
is.
slave's burial room.
It wasn't too far off.
This is a video.
It had more than one door, so it's big person's room.
Yeah, that's the thing. It hasn't had monsters in it. Well, it's not important.
Well, no one was buried. They were just piled.
That is a second level spell. Sorry.
Yep.
And that was also second level. Sorry, I'm just keeping tabs of what I've so 2d8 plus my spell modifier. That is
You've given us a bit better healing.
8 plus 5,
14.
14.
8 plus 5 is 13.
13. You are correct. Alright, good enough. 13.
Never mind, my calculator lied to me.
Math
The
late.
calculators had a pretty busy day. Okay.
Well, you have 13 hit points that you didn't have before, so...
Okay.
At least you're not quite so damaged.
You're not quite so dead.
Yeah.
So, what are people's hit points on it actually?
43 of 60.
Okay.
I don't know if I've worked out my
So,
new...
43 of 60. What is Surfer's on?
I don't think Ahsoka took that much
31 out of
damage.
45.
Yeah, I took a bit of it.
Or did
And
you?
what was Zal's currently?
Mine would be at full hit point, but I...
Full of unknown.
Full of unknown. I was at 31, but I was at last level, I
And what did you
believe.
take?
I took Wizard.
Which is, what's the hit dice?
It's D6.
It's D6.
So that would be 4
4
plus con.
Con. What's your con? So 35.
Mhm.
Okay. So it would be 35 then.
Okay. Yeah, you're really squishy compared to a lot of things.
Yeah, I know. I know.
The thing is that last little big large creature would have knocked her down to 5.
Bing!
35. Yeah, so
And then what do you think, Phil?
4d8 and 3d6.
Okay, so yes, I would say that you heal yourself up, and we might finish it there for the night, so you don't end yourself up in a major combat.
Ah!
And you go, died! The others might show up at that point,
Yeah.
considering that they basically find a map in the room that no one really searched.
Yeah, that's fair.
So you know in that room where you cast all that magic and stuff, there was a map hidden in there.
Oh,
It's a non-magical map.
Boo!
But no one actually searched it in the whole time you were there.
No, I
I
walked
was
out.
expecting one of you two to search the room instead of just oven with me and
I actually
Fuck
searched.
off.
I searched further down. Okay.
yeah, you still
I'll put it on credits.